Now let's look at the area of a rhombus and a kite. So now the reason why I put these two shapes in the same category is because they have the same area formula and they pretty much look very similar. Have a look. This is a rhombus. The only thing about a rhombus is that all sides are equal, like a square. Except the only difference between a square and a rhombus is that a square has a right angle, but a rhombus is like a square tilted a little bit. It's like a parallelogram that has all sides equal. So that's the rhombus. And the kite, it looks similar to a rhombus, but these adjacent sides are equal and the other two adjacent sides are equal. You're going to remember a kite has two sides the same and the other two sides the same. Okay, but they must be next to each other like that. You should also remember that with a rhombus and a kite, the diagonals cut each other. The diagonals cut each other at right angles. So, see how this diagonal and this diagonal, they make a right angle in the center there. And same with the kite. This diagonal and this diagonal, they cut there as well. For the area, just remember that the diagonals cut each other at right angles. Therefore, in these two shapes, the important things are the diagonals. So if you know the length of the diagonals, you multiply them together. So see how here the diagonal is x and y, and same over there. So you multiply the diagonals together and simply divide it into 2. Okay, or you can think of it like this. You can say half times x times y, whatever way. So that's the area of a rhombus and a kite. Starting with 32, find the area. See, they give you the diagonal, one's 8 and one's 6, and that's a rhombus, isn't it? Because all sides are the same. Simply 8 times 6 divided by 2, which is 24. Easy. This time we want to find x if the area is 80 centimeters squared. This time it's a kite because these two are the same and these two are the same. And they give you the diagonals, but one is in terms of x. But I'll just apply my formula and I should get 10 times x divided by 2 should be 80. Now what I'm going to do is make that 5x because I know that 10 divided by 2 is 5, and then divide by 5. So 80 divided by 5 is 16. That is x. That's all you needed to do there. Find the area correcting to the nearest whole number. Okay, so you guys can see that that is a rhombus because all sides are the same. And they give you one diagonal, but they don't give you the other. How do I find that? Now remember how I told you the rhombus, in a rhombus the diagonals bisect each other. So if this whole length is 12, this length should be half of 12. If I draw up a little triangle here, that would be 90 degrees, right? And as I said, they bisect each other. So if this is 12, this one must be 6. But we don't know what this length is. So what I'm going to do is just call that x. And once I find x, I can double it to find the length of the other diagonal, yeah? Let's apply our Pythagoras theorem and find x. So I'm going to say 6 squared plus x squared is 8 squared. Move the 6 squared over to the other side and just calculate that, guys. It should be 28. So x is going to be square root of 28. As I said, the diagonal is double that value. So I'm going to times it by 2. So I'm just going to call that h. So h will be 2 times x, which is 2 root 28. So now to find the area, I'm going to do 12 times the other diagonal, 2 root 28, and then divide it by 2. Plug that into your calculator, guys. You should get something like this. And to the nearest whole number, it should be 63 meters squared. That is the answer for this one. 35, find the area. Okay, this time it's a kite. As you can see, these two are the same and these two are the same. So it's going to be a kite. This time they give you this length, but that's not the full length, is it? So they're missing, if I have this little length here, I'll just call that y. And then I can add it on 6 and I'll get that full diagonal, right? And I don't have the other diagonal again. So what I'm going to do is call this bit x. Now as you can see, guys, I can actually make up a right angle triangle here where the hypotenuse is 9 and this base side is 6, which must be same as this. So I can find x pretty quickly just by using Pythagoras, right? So what I'm going to do is x squared plus 6 squared is 9 squared Move your 6 squared over to the other side and just calculate it. You should get 45. Therefore, x is just square root of 45. So I found x. Now that I found x, I can look at this other triangle, apply my Pythagoras theorem again to find y. So let's try it. So in this case, y squared plus x squared must be 7 squared, isn't it? Now we found x. X is root 45. So plug that in there like that. And you can see that the square root and the square will cancel each other. So we just have 45 here left. And 7 squared is 49. Move 45 over to get 4. You can see that y will just be 2 because 2 squared is 4. So we've got y. Because y is 2 and x is square root of, what was it again? Sorry, 45. 45. This diagonal is 2 plus 6. This diagonal is 2 times root 45. I'm going to say the area is this diagonal, which is 2 plus 6, times by this diagonal, which is 2 times double of root 45. So 2 times root 45, and then of course divide it by 2. Put that into your calculator, guys, and make sure this bracket is very important, or you can just make it 8 if you like. And that would be your answer. And to one decimal place, it should be 53.7. Another one, find the area of the rhombus. Now this time they give you the perimeter of 52 centimeters. We know that rhombus has all sides equal, right? If this side, I'll just call that x, then 4 times x is 52. So x will be 52 divided by 4, which is 13. So I've got my side. That is going to be, these sides are going to be 13. See how they give you one diagonal, but they don't give you the other one. Probably have to use Pythagoras theorem once more. So see how that's 10? So this length must be 5, right? Just half of it. So I don't know what this other one is, this other one. So I'll find that using Pythagoras. So 5 squared, if I call this y, 5 squared plus y squared is 13 squared, isn't it? 13, which is a hypotenuse. So y squared, move your 5 squared over to the other side by subtracting. Calculate it. So y must be square root of 144, which is simply 12. So we found y. So therefore this full diagonal will be double that, isn't it? So double 12. So the area is half times this diagonal, which is 10, they already give you, and the horizontal diagonal, which is 2 times 12. Okay, the 12 that we just found. Calculate that, guys. It should be 120. Okay, 120 centimeters squared. And that's it. So you can see we use a lot of Pythagoras theorem. So you guys should be very used to this kind of pattern. So that was rhombuses and kites.